As some of the celebrants' children also came to sing the special number for their mum, the very emotional Olori Omolara Tedrosho was guided by her husband Oba Adedapo Tedrosho to the stage where they danced to the songs. As the dancing continued to the wee hours of the day, more people joined the celebrant, who was full of strength on stage as old school songs were played by the band. It was indeed a lovely way to turn 60. As we join the Tedrosho's family in celebrating their matriarch, we at Biscone Communications pray for long life and prosperity for the woman who has captured hearts. Happy birthday.
Probably she's just gone halfway, because after all, Moses, who saw God, lived for 120 years. She has Jesus Christ in her. I would expect her to also live for 120 years.
I don't feel like I'm 60 years old. I thank God. And I too, I give myself inner peace. If you have peace within you, at least you will be happy. And wrinkles and all those will find their way off you. So I have inner peace with me. And I think of the solution rather than the problem.
Long life and prosperity, good health. I want her to see 70, I want her to see 80, I want her to see 90, I want her to see 100. I want her to see our children's children. In Jesus' name.
My mom is an angel. She's very sweet. She's beautiful inside out. She's a very caring person.
A very well-respected family. They are a very historic family, and they are very important to Ogun State. And I think, therefore, the whole of the government really felt it's important to come and join them in celebrating the 60th birthday of Olori. She must have many, 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 many more returns, because next year I want to be back. I hope she'll be celebrating the 61st, and then I'll make sure I'm there from the beginning.
Ultra-modern event center at the Executive Sport 37, Glover Court off Glover Road, Ikoyi, which oozes of opulence, class and taste in all ramifications, was venue for the Diamond Jubilee Anniversary celebration of Olori Risikat Iyabode Adams, the very fashionable wife of His Royal Highness Oba Lateef Atondo Adams, Unikate of Ikate Land, Surulere, Lagos. Oba Lateef Atondo was there to give very solid backing to his wife of close to 40 years, in company of other high-end dignitaries, like the monarch of Igbobi Sabe in Lagos, Oba Adeshino Adeniyi and his wife, former Inspector General of Police, Alhaji Musliu Smith, former Governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba and his wife, Chief Mrs. Daring Oshoba, Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Babatunde Adejare, wife of the acclaimed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Mrs. B.C. Abiola, Mrs. Jamila Jubrila Ayinla, Alhaja Ramota Rabiu, the proprietress of Executive Sport, the exquisite venue of the event, Mrs. Shola Falawiyo, and friends of the Adams family from Lagos and other parts of the country. However, it's pertinent to state that the event, which was strictly by invitation, was organized by all the children of the celebrant, who indeed sought and got the express permission of their father, Oba Lateef Atondo Adams, to give their darling mother a special treat to formally induct her into the prestigious diamond fold. So, all the children of Olori Risikat Iyabode Adams, Jelili Adams, Latifat Adams, Laniyo Habib Adams, Taiwo and Kehinde Adams, and Timu Adams, the baby of the house, pulled resources together and pulled all the stops to pamper and spoil their loving mother with a very classy and fun-filled Diamond Jubilee Anniversary dinner that will be etched in a special place in her heart for a very long time. So, the Adams boys and girls, who were strategically positioned at vantage points in the hall, were totally in charge of all the proceedings with a very huge support of their friends. The event formally began with a grand entry of the celebrant, Ulurusikati Abode Adams, who was ably supported by her husband, His Royal Highness Oba Latif Atondo Adams, as guests stood up to usher them into the venue. The celebrants quickly went round to exchange pleasantries with friends, family members and associates who have come to share the glorious moment with her as music played in the background. The event was committed into the hands of the Almighty Allah with prayers by His Royal Majesty Oba Adeshina Adeniyi, the monarch of Igbobi Sabe, Lagos State. Old school music and music by contemporary Nigerian artists were played by the DJ to go with the dinner, while T.A. Tunde Adewale, who compared the event, also entertained with jokes. A documentary that encapsulated congratulatory messages from friends and family members of the Adams from different parts of the world, particularly the United Kingdom and the United States of America, was relayed at the event. The celebrant, Ulurusikati Abode Adams' father, Alhaji Laminu Alebioshu, was from Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State, and her mother, Madam Ibatu Alebioshu, was from Epe in Lagos State. Ulurusikati Abode Adams lost her mother when she was only 12 years old. She attended Muslim Commercial School in Ijebu-Ode and worked at the Ministry of Works. However, Ulurusikati Abode Adams veered into business of the sale of fabrics and shoes, which she traveled abroad to buy. In fact, she met her husband, Oba Latif Adams, at Liverpool Street in London on one of her shopping expeditions, which was how their love story began. Ulurusikati Abode Adams is a very kind, selfless and respectful person who is blessed with very responsible children. In fact, in their separate tributes to their loving mother, they all paid glowing congratulatory greetings to her, describing her as the best mother in the world.
Thank you so much for honoring my mother today. We tried to come out to say, Mommy, we love you, we cherish you, and we just have you're just amazing. And we're thankful that you're a mother, we're thankful that we have you in our life, and we just want to be with people to welcome you up as a country people.
As for her darling husband, Oba Latif Atondo Adams, the Unikatel Suleri, Ulurusikati Abode Adams has been a very great blessing to his life and all of the children in all aspects. He also prayed for longer life and resoundingly good health for his darling wife.
She's a very, very devoted woman. It's not those women that just moving about. I wish you have many more years and very good health, long life, for us to be together for life, on the throne. Of course, it's because she did a lot about the throne too. When you have a good wife, pray for you sleeplessly every time, that you make sure that what God said is yours, you will get it. I'm very proud of her, very, very proud of her, and God will give her a long life for me and for our children.
The celebrant cut her Diamond Jubilee anniversary cake in company of her husband, and there was a video and photo session later. The cake cutting exercise was conducted by Chief Jibu, a very close friend to the Adams family. The happy birthday song was jointly sang for the celebrant by all to demonstrate that they can go to any length to make the day a memorable one for their darling mother. The baby of the house, Timu Adams, who is pursuing a career in music, sang a special number she composed specially for her birthday. At this point, the celebrant and her husband, Oba Latif Atondo Adams, settled on the dance floor for a special dancing session. Adams proposed the toast as everyone stood up to clink glasses.
Let's all raise our glass to our only one of Jubilee Kate. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Tino Adams, the baby of the house, gave the vote of thanks. From Biscom Communications, it's a big congratulations to Olori Risikat Iyabode Adams.
Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR, is an outstanding Nigerian statesman, a national icon, a giant Nigerian leader who for nearly 50 years has occupied a unique place in the country's history and stood like a titan for the country's unity. Recently, the Southwest Zone of the People's Democratic Party organized a series of events to celebrate him. First was a lecture titled Obasanjo in the Eyes of History, held on Friday, 18th January 2013 in Abeokuta, Ogun State Capital. In attendance were Mr. John Kufuor, the former president of Ghana, who was the guest lecturer, and Chief Ernest Shoneko, GCFR, former Nigerian head of state, who chaired the event. Senate President David Mark, Governor Murtala Nyako of Adamawa State, led state governors. There were ministers, deputy governors, leaders of political parties, traditional rulers, and numerous other highly distinguished personalities, both within and outside the country, that graced the event. In his opening remarks, the Ogun State PDP chairman, Senator Dipo Odujuni MFR, representing the organizers, described the celebrant, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, as an international icon and a gift from Ogun State to Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. Stated the reasons for celebrating the statesman.
On my assumption of duty as chairman of PDP Ogun State in August, I approved that. I said that I would want to celebrate you in his characteristic manner. He said it's not necessary. I said it is necessary. For 3 reasons. He said, yes, what are the reasons? I said, we like to celebrate dead heroes in this country. And we believe a living legend should be embarrassed in his lifetime. I said, no. I said, secondly, we want to announce to the whole world that this is a gift from Ogun State to Nigeria and to the world.
In his own address, the chairman of the occasion and former Nigerian head of state, Chief Ernest Shoneko, expressed appreciation for the honor done him to chair the event. He described Chief Olusegun Obasanjo as a true patriot who kept his word by handing over to a democratically elected government over 30 years ago. Chief Shoneko also took time to read out a long profile of the celebrant, affirming that Chief Obasanjo has contributed immensely to the development of Africa. He prayed that God will grant him long life to contribute even more to the development of Nigeria.
I'd like to record here that Chief Obasanjo, a man who started from a very humble beginning, rose within the military and later served Nigeria victoriously, first as a military head of state, who kept his promise by handing over power to the democratically elected. Not only that, about 20 years later, praying from the death of the valley of death to be elected as the Nigerian president.
In his own presentation, the guest lecturer and former president of Ghana, Mr. John Kufuor, stated that it's only in rare cases that individuals are celebrated while they are alive. The former president of Ghana, in his presentation, stated that Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is a living legend. He recalled the strong bond that existed between them while they were presidents of their respective countries, and how they both spoke with one voice on issues concerning the advancement of Africa at the global scene. Former President Kufuor recalled how Chief Obasanjo, then President of Nigeria, helped him overcome some major economic challenges facing Ghana at the time, one of which was granting of a loan to Ghana to finance Ghana's contribution for the West African Gas Pipeline project. Former President Kufuor described the celebrant as a growing concern whose history is not yet complete, and one who will still do great things in our rapidly changing world. Former President John Kufuor acknowledged the pivotal role the celebrant played during the Nigerian Biafran Civil War, tracing his military career to when he became the head of the military government, and how out of his acute sense of discipline returned the country to civilian rule. Mr. Kufuor listed the establishment of the NNPC, the hosting of Festex 77, the setting up of Corrupt Practices Bureau, and supporting some African countries to attain independence as some of Chief Obasanjo's laudable achievements as a military head of state. Former President John Kufuor recalled that having been elected president in 1999, following his release from prison by the General Abdulsalami Abubakar-led military government, Chief Obasanjo, in his 2 terms in office as president, introduced life-changing policies and programs in Nigeria, which launched the country into the path of unprecedented socio-economic development and growth. Mr. Kufuor described Chief Obasanjo as a born leader with a huge sense of humor, a great patriot with passion for the good of others. Hence, the international community, realizing his rare talents, has given him responsibilities of brokering peace among African countries. Former President John Kufuor concluded that he is greatly honored to be associated with former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
And it is my great pleasure to acknowledge President Olusegun Matthew. This is the first time I call him Matthew. Matthew Okikiola Areyo Obasanjo as once a president, a living legend. President Obasanjo, for this celebration to be organized by the People's Democratic Party to acknowledge your contribution to the PDP goes further to reinforce the esteem in which you are held, not just globally, but among your own kith and kin. It is said that a prophet is without honor in his own home. So when we see a prophet having honor in his own home, and in his lifetime, however limited, we should immediately recognize that we are dealing with someone special, someone whose work and life has touched hundreds of millions of lives, someone who has left an indelible mark on the history of mankind.
Oba Dr. Omolade Belubara Wibara, a childhood friend of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, recounted their childhood experience, stating that Chief Obasanjo, whom he described as very kind and humane, is a man of destiny.
You see, we were joined together not because we were classmates or because we were friends, but we were joined together by poverty. Early in our life, we knew that we had a Herculean job to do. When he was admitted to the Battle School, and I was also admitted, the money was not there to pay the fees. So we had to rely on ourselves, and then we went to fetch firewood. We would buy the firewood and sell in the town and make some gains, and that was what made us to be able to augment the little money we gave us to pay our school fees and buy some necessary textbooks. I say necessary textbooks.
Some distinguished dignitaries made presentations in which they paid glowing tribute to Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. These included Alhaji Adamu Bello and Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, who were ministers of agriculture and education respectively during the Obasanjo administration. Others were Senator Florence Itagiwa, who spoke about Obasanjo's gender-friendly policies, and Admiral Akiaduo, who recounted his memorable encounters with the celebrant when they were both in the military. Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, who headed the highly acclaimed Due Process Office under Obasanjo's government, described President Obasanjo as a true and courageous leader who is not afraid to take risks. Admiral Akiaduo stated that Chief Obasanjo never took part in any coup in the country, nor did he support any cause that encouraged crisis or the oppression of others.
In speaking of President Obasanjo as a gutsy administrator, when I saw the topic, I said, I'm going to ask the organizers of this event to allow me change the topic, because President Obasanjo cannot be spoken of as an administrator. If you spoke of him as an administrator, then his scorecard will not be very wonderful. Leaders are visionaries. Leaders are defined by their capacity to mobilize group resources. Leaders are the ones who get you to do what you would not want to do, but you find yourself doing it, liking
to do it.
Thank you.
I think after the various military interventions, up to the time President Obasanjo took over as president of this country, women were limited to positions of Minister of Women Affairs, Minister of all those, gender-related areas. But from the time Obasanjo came into power, he allowed the women of this country grow. He allowed the women of this country grow. He allowed the women of this country explore themselves to mandate the world know what they're capable of by giving them important positions in government, by encouraging because he has tremendous passion for the growth of women in this country. He encourages women politically, he encourages female entrepreneurs, and I do not know, I'm sure that most of the women in this hall can attest to that.
I first met General Obasanjo on his arrival in Port Harcourt to take over command of the 3rd Marine Commando. General Obasanjo never once sat down to plan a coup, even the one that took him to the highest level of governance in the state. Senate President David Moore equally paid glowing tribute to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, stating that his contributions to Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large is immeasurable.
But I think he has too much energy. The more I try to tell him to take enough rest, it's as if I'm telling him to do the exact opposite. Because the moment I call him and say, Baba, thank God you are resting in America, he said, no, I'm on my way to Lagos now. But I have to be in Tanzania this evening. And tomorrow morning I have to be somewhere else. And next day I have to be somewhere else. And next day I have to be somewhere else. He's just blessed with this energy. So many of us are blessed with energy, but we don't utilize it. But he's blessed with energy, he utilizes it. On this occasion, I'm not going to ask you to continue or to try and take more rest. All that I'd like to tell you now is work harder.
Presentation of a special portrait of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was made to him by the organizers, which was done by Engineer Shegoni, the Vice Chairman, Southwest BDP. In Chief Olusegun Obasanjo's emotion-laden remarks, he expresses gratitude to those who felt it fit to honor him while alive. Chief Obasanjo responded to all the issues raised in the intervention of all those who spoke. He concluded by saying that what we all owe Nigeria is to continue to work for her continued stability and progress, while avoiding utterances and deeds that tend to aggravate tension and heat up the polity. Chief Obasanjo appealed to everyone that nothing should be done to truncate the peace and unity Nigeria is now enjoying.
I very much appreciate those who initiated it, those who joined to make it as grand as it has been, those who contributed means to make it what it is, and those of you, members of our party, members of the state authority, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the private sector, and indeed our royal fathers who have made the sacrifice to be here for so long and spend the whole day. And of course, members of the media. And you know that between me and you, Sha.
And if you are afraid to accept a leadership position and do what you believe you must do as a leader, then don't accept it. We have to say in this part of the world that we don't go into water and start saying, water was not touched my body. If water was not touched your body, don't go into water. If you will not take the decision and you do not have the courage to do what you should do as a leader, don't accept leadership responsibility.
The word was delivered by the chairman of the planning committee of the celebration of Chief Obasanjo, Prince Adeyemi Adefubu, MFR. The grand celebration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo by the Southwest Zone of the People's Democratic Party took a national dimension on Saturday, 19th of January 2013, with Vice President Mohammed Namadi Sambo leading a high-powered delegation to Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The delegation was made up of the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Bamanga Tukur, CON, members of the National Executive Committee of the ruling party, governors, ministers, as well as past and present public office holders. The day began with the paying of homage by the Vice President to the monarch of Egba Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Oba Adedotun Gbadebo. The civic reception in honor of Chief Obasanjo, which was held at the expansive grounds of Ake Palace in Abeokuta, was filled beyond capacity by members of the People's Democratic Party, who turned out in the same type of attires that distinguished them distinctly from the others who had come from different parts of the country and the world to honor Nigeria's living legend and hero of all time, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. It was indeed reassuring to note that members of the PDP from Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo and Ekiti states, which constitute the Southwest Zone, attended the event in full force. Equally worthy of note and a clear sign of good omen for the party was the fact that heavyweights of the People's Democratic Party in the Southwest Zone who have been rumored to be romancing or flirting with other political parties registered a robust presence at the event to affirm their loyalty to the party. The organizers of the event must be commended for the groundwork they had done in getting all those members perceived to be aggrieved about one issue or the other on the same table. This is a kind of result evident when we have professionals in politics at the helm of affairs, which is the case in the PDP Southwest Zone as we speak. The chairman of the People's Democratic Party Ogun State Chapter, Senator Oladipo Ogunjun MFR, and chairman Zonal Coordinating Committee expatiated on other aspects of what informed the gathering.
As we gather here today to honor and celebrate the worthy summit of the state, the Victoria, the Gabriel and the Gabriel takes the pleasure to pray to our eminent visitors with a little bit of the history of this present group of people.
Mr. Chairman, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my sincere gratitude goes to all our sponsors from far and wide, without whom this celebration would have remained a pipe dream. Thank you and God bless you all.
And your masquerades put up some entertaining cultural display at the event. Former Governor of Ekiti State and Chairman of the PDP Southwest Zone, in his goodwill address, expresses gratitude to all members and others for turning up in their numbers to honor former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who he said the Southwest Zone is very proud to have produced for Nigeria
Africa, and the world.
My prayer is that celebrations like this will not and will no longer be limited to these geopolitical zones. Let us learn to celebrate our heroes when they are with us. And let us always remember that when we celebrate our heroes, we honor ourselves. And when we celebrate them indeed, when they are alive, in their presence, the honor is even greater.
There were goodwill messages from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Malam Adamu Bello, former Minister of Agriculture, spoke for the Northeast Zone. Senator Esther Nenadi Usman spoke for the Northwest.
As I know him, is indeed a detribalized leader. God, as I said, has blessed him with unparalleled courage and wisdom. Sincerely, I believe the much he has achieved in Nigeria is because of this wonderful and rare combination of wisdom and courage which Baba has. Baba indeed is the father of modern Nigeria, whether anybody likes it or not. You can't take that away from him. Because he has laid a solid foundation on which all those who have come behind him will build on. And that is why I believe each and every one of us has taken time to be here today to celebrate him. Ubangiji Allah ya ja zamanin Baba. Thank you.
In their separate remarks, beginning with Governor Emmanuel Udwa of Delta State, who delivered his goodwill message on behalf of all the people of Delta State, stated that former President Obasanjo will remain his hero and benefactor for life. Because when everyone deserted him during the last election, it was Obasanjo who made that courageous intervention against all odds that enabled him to scale through the great hurdle between him and clinching the ticket to contest as governor in Delta State the second time. Governor Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State also spoke in the same vein. Governor Akpabio also recollected that it was Obasanjo who was the instrument used by God for the uncommon transformation that Akwa Ibom State has been witnessing in the last 5 years under his leadership. Because it was Obasanjo who insisted that merit must prevail over mediocrity in his own case. Dr. Akpabio described Obasanjo as a great leader who has achieved so much for Nigeria and Africa. Governor Rochas Okorocha of Imo State, who belongs to the All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, defied being accused of a romance with the PDP by attending an event which is clearly one that gives the PDP an upward platform above his own party. Described President Obasanjo as a national, African and world statesman whose contributions to the growth and development of many countries over the years has continued to make him still relevant in politics of the world even till today. Governor Okorocha said he was personally in Abeokuta to register his gratitude to a man who has been there for him through thick and thin.
If I start talking about you today, this place will not finish. Some of our elders were pressing me down in Delta. Baba was picking me up from that press down. And God used Baba to ensure that I got the ticket of the PDP in 2007. And that is how I became the governor of Delta State in 2007. Even after the election, you did not leave us alone. You were bothered about how we governed Delta. And when we said we were developing the states beyond oil, Delta State is oil rich, yes. But we look at the area of agriculture. He did not even stop there. He went on to also ensure that Delta is made a center of food security in Africa. I thank you for all you are doing.
On a day like this, we will not congratulate you. We will rather congratulate the good people of the Southwest, because you have proven that a prophet could be respected in his own home. So congratulations to all of you. Baba is that man that they mentioned in the Bible, that God will prepare a table for you in front of your enemies. And as you have come to honor him, may God prepare tables for you in front of your enemies. We have a lot to learn from you, because you have not forgotten your root. Baba is a man of justice.
The legacies you have left in this country will be emulated by the younger generation. But I'm assuring you that we still love you. I want to join many Nigerians to celebrate this icon, this great Nigerian, very steadfast, who is not afraid of fighting any battle, and when he starts fighting, he doesn't stop until he finishes fighting. President Obasanjo, when I grow up, I want to be like you. APGA is a party, SCN is a party. We must realize that what is before us is more than the party that divides us. Let us begin to choose our leaders who will lead us irrespective of their party affiliations, because party cannot put food on the table of the common man. It takes a visionary leader to put food on the table of the common man.
In his own address, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Bamanga Tukur, CON, congratulated former President Olusegun Obasanjo for the grace to be alive to receive the well-deserved honor and accolades that came his way by courtesy of the civic reception organized for him by the Southwest Zone of the PDP. Dr. Bamanga Tukur thanked former President Obasanjo for his labor of love for Nigeria in the last 5 decades, concluding that as one of the founding fathers of the PDP, no one can ignore the monumental contributions he has made in laying a solid foundation for the party, on which others, including him, have continued to build.
The most significant manifestation of legitimate leadership is the presence of democratic culture with a clearly defined process of recruitment, grooming, and succession. The People's Democratic Party, having met the universal requirement and standard of a truly political party, can only owe its virtue to the men and women who have put their lives on the line to form the biggest coalition of pan-cultural and ethnic association ever in the history of post-colonial Nigeria. I want to call him the living legend of Africa.
Vice President Mohammed Namadi Sambo, who represented President Goodluck Jonathan at the civic reception, used the occasion to thank President Obasanjo for his unquantifiable contributions to the making of the Nigerian nation, and that posterity will forever remain grateful to him. He prayed that God will give him the speed to be of more useful services to Nigeria, Africa, and the world. Vice President Mohammed Namadi Sambo said that the PDP is very proud to have produced a world personality like former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Leadership of the PDP in the Southwest, as well as other party members, for organizing this grand reception in honor of President Obasanjo to acknowledge his contributions to our nation and our party. Your Excellency, I congratulate you. PDP. As a responsible government, our administration is fulfilling its promises and meeting its basic obligation to the people. We will continue to meticulously and painstakingly pursue well-conceived and action-oriented policies and programs that will endure the test of time, which foundation are laid by our former President Obasanjo. Baba, we shall continue to tap from your immense experience. Thank you, and God bless you all.
The cutting of a special cake for the occasion featured Chief Obasanjo, his wife, Chief Mrs. Bola Obasanjo, former President Kufuor of Ghana, and other dignitaries in attendance.
When I say long, you say long. And when I say live, as soon as you say live, the bank comes again. Are we ready? Long! Live!
In his remarks, which doubled as a vote of thanks, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was full of thanks for the honor done him, especially while alive. stated that he will continue to put Nigeria first in anything he does and enjoin others to reawaken their love and dedication to serve their fatherland unreservedly, because that's the only country we can call our own. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo called on all members of the PDP, both in the Southwest Zone and the country at large, to close ranks so as to recover the lost grounds in order to properly position the party for the arduous challenge ahead of it, as the magic year 2015 looms very large in the political horizon. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo advised members not to take things for granted. There's no gainsaying the fact that the Southwest Zone of the People's Democratic Party, with the reception organized for former President Obasanjo, have proved to the entire world that its house is very much intact, with the way all hands have been put on deck for a very successful outing.
For me to be here with you and to get this type of accolade and reception, I feel touched. I thank you. I thank God. And I wish I could say, yes, how do I repay this? Except to thank you and to thank God. May God continue to be with each and every one of you.
However, the momentum must be built on now with further galvanization of members to build a very formidable party that will stand the test of time in the keenly competitive political space that the Southwest Zone has become of late to the People's Democratic Party, where the opposition has taken firm roots in all the 6 states, a scenario most unimaginable before 20